Greetings and salutations. Hope this finds you well, comrades. Quick shout out to the two Uber comrades supporting my channel and this content on Patreon, my partner. Thank you, Rosa. And Independent Left News. So, came across this story. The United States is sanctioning yet another country, this time Cambodia, and you can be guaranteed it has nothing to do with promoting democracy or human rights or caring about the people in that country, and it has everything to do with the interests of the US empire, particularly trying to combat China's influence in that country. But let's just do, quick little map so we can actually see, China and Cambodia. It would make sense for them to form a strategic partnership. China's there, Cambodia's there, not super far away, right? As opposed to the United States being on the complete other side of the fucking world and wanting to exert their, dominance on Cambodia and wanting to push back on China's influence in that country. So here's the article, and it actually, lays out why this is happening if you kind of read it closely. So, title is U.S. House of Representatives. If it comes up here, what the hell? There we go. U.S. House of Representatives passes fresh sanctions can entrench the Cambodia government's determination to free itself from outside interference. Cambodia democracy. I mean, it's just so just so ironic, right? The United States has never been a democracy. We're sanctioning all of these countries around the world for their authoritarianism, for their anti-democratic nature, for repression or whatever. When the United States has the world's largest prison population, where we have a one-party state, a corporate duopoly that is bought and paid for by the capitalist class. We spend more on the military than the next 10 or 11 countries combined. So the United States government really has no fucking room to tell other countries how to run their internal affairs at all. Promote free and fair elections, like we have fucking free and fair elections in the United States. Basically, whatever candidate has the biggest, amount of fighting wins. How Democrats and Republicans both prevent third parties from getting on the ballot, third parties from getting on the debate stage, because they want that spectrum of the debate to be very, very narrow. They don't want to hear about other political options that might actually improve the lives of the working class, the material conditions of the working class. But yes, we need to be promoting free and fair elections in Cambodia, country all the way on the other side of the fucking, and human rights. Again, the United States is the biggest purveyor of death and destruction in the fucking world, and we have the fucking gall these people do to try to chastise the Cambodian government about political freedoms and human rights. I mean, look what the United States is doing to Assange. Look at all the other political prisoners that we have in the United States, whether it's Mumia Abu-Jamal, who has been political prisoner in the United States for 40 years, or Leonard Peltier of the American Indian movement. He's been locked up for decades as well. And those are just, a few and countless examples, unfortunately. So it's just fucking disgusting. Just disgusting. Let's see. History has told us time and time again that, so this is from the prime minister, right? Or the president. I think it's Hun Sen is the prime minister of Cambodia. So this is them. Quote, history has told us time and time again that foreign interference and, even worse, military options used to impose different systems of governments are not solutions, he said. Far from it. They haven't only led to many more deaths, human suffering and misery, and socioeconomic strife. 100%. If the recent events in Afghanistan and many more before that are lessons to be learned from, then we must learn that there is great merit to respecting wishes of each nation and their people's right to self-determination. 100%. I mean, for fuck's sake, there's no way that Cambodia is any more repressive or authoritarian than Saudi Arabia. You don't hear, these people introducing sanctions on Saudi Arabia. Why the fuck do you think that is? Because the Saudi Arabia, the regime there, is always ready and willing to do the bidding of the U.S. empire, and they have been that way for quite some time. Here we go. But the Cambodia's leaders' remarks hit at the interconnected nature of the U.S.-China-Cambodia relationship, which is to say the Cambodia government's intimate relationship with Beijing cannot be understood in isolation from the 3 decades concerted efforts by Western governments, particularly Washington, to promote democratic norms in Cambodia. So there you go. And then let's show this other article. And then we'll end it there. But again, anytime you have anybody within the U.S. government wanting to promote democracy, fair elections, human rights in other countries, just know that's code for them wanting to be, under the boot of the U.S. empire and do the bidding of the U.S. empire and, multinational corporations. And if they're not willing to, follow in line to U.S. dictates, then they get sanctioned to death, right? As we see time and time again, Cambodia is just another example, and there are many, right? Here we go. China defends Cambodia relations after U.S. expresses concerns. This is from the AP. When was this from? This was from back in June, so fairly recently. China said Thursday its relationship with Cambodia has made positive contributions to regional peace and stability. Again, they're pretty close, they're regional allies, regional partners. It makes sense for them to have that partnership. There's no fucking reason the United States, should be concerned about Cambodia otherwise for any other reason than to promote the interests of the U.S. empire, right? After the U.S. expressed concerns about the presence of Chinese military in the Southeast Asian nation. How fucking rich is that? The United States has 700, 800 military bases in 60, 70 plus countries all around the world, and they're worried about fucking China and Cambodia partnering. I mean, if that rings hollow for you, then it obviously should. That is completely and utterly ridiculous. Yeah, the Prime Minister Hun Sen. She thought, this is the U.S. Deputy Secretary of State, Wendy Sherman. She sought clarification about the demolition of 2 U.S.-funded buildings at Ream without notification or explanation. Observed that look at how fucking rich this is. Quote, observed that a Chinese military base in Cambodia would undermine its sovereignty, threaten regional security, negatively impact U.S.-Cambodia. Oh my fucking God, dude. Beijing Foreign Minister spokesperson Wang Wenbin said China and Cambodia enjoyed a traditional friendship and were comprehensive, strategic, and cooperative partners. Again, that's never what the U.S. offers. It's always, you do what we want or we're going to fucking sanction you. This is just another example of that. The 2 sides have carried out fruitful cooperation in various fields, which has brought tangible benefits to the 2 peoples and made positive contributions to regional peace and stability, Wang told reporters at a daily briefing. Jesus Christ. Just how fucking the hypocrisy here, it just reeks, right? You can fucking smell it through the computer right now. The State Department said Sherman urged Cambodia's leadership to maintain an independent and balanced foreign policy, quote, in the best interest of, oh my fucking God. Yeah, okay. Okay, so there it is. This is all happening because the United States doesn't want Cambodia to have any type of partnership or cooperation with Cambodia. Simple as that, right? So again, it has nothing to do with promoting democracy, human rights, fair elections, all that other, frankly, bullshit that the U.S. always uses when they, run up against the country charting their own path. Cambodia is just another example, and again, there are many. Right now, Iran, Syria, Venezuela, Cuba, North Korea, Nicaragua, Who else am I? China, etc., etc. Just another long line example. So you got to be able to sift through the bullshit. It's going to be coming at you, very strong from the U.S. empire and all these things. Like the video if you like the damn video. Subscribe for more content. All part of the people. Peace. Much love.